Hey YouTube, and welcome back. This is going to be my fourth update on my 20-gallon Nano Reef, and it's going to be a pretty big one. As you can see, I've got a couple new additions swimming around the tank. I've also switched up a couple things that we'll talk about soon, and I've run into a possible problem with the tank just recently, but the problem will actually lead to a solution and a project that I've been working on that I'm pretty excited about. But first of all, let's talk about the updates to the tank. Then we'll take a look at the new fish, and lastly we will get into that possible problem and the project and hopeful solution that I've been working on. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the updates to the tank. The first thing I changed, you can't really notice here in the tank, but I changed the light cycle. Now every night for 4 hours the lunar lights go off and the tank is in complete darkness. Then the lunar lights kick back on and the light cycle picks up like normal. Another thing I changed is the setup in my filtration. You can see here I only use one active carbon cartridge now as opposed to when I used to use two, and the water passes through the other side of the filter with no active carbon. You can also see here that I've moved the location of the power heads around a little bit to try and get a better current in the tank. And another update, you can look around here and see that I actually have some pretty solid coralline algae growth. If you actually look here on top of the power heads and then take a look at the inlet for the power filter in the back there, you can see some coralline algae growing on them. And also to the side here and up front, I have a couple areas of coralline algae growing. So that's very encouraging. It's a good sign. Hopefully this continues and the rock work will get even more colorful. So now let's take a look at the new additions to the tank. In my last video I talked about hopefully getting some fish in this tank, and as you can see here I've added some clownfish. More specifically they're called Percula clownfish, and I've added just 2 to this Nano Reef setup. These guys are tank bred, and I pretty much decided these were the fish I was going to get before I even began setting up the tank. When I was looking into getting into saltwater tanks, these are some of the fish that I was definitely interested in. And the reason for getting them is basically they're just fun, lively saltwater fish that live great in a reef tank setup. I'm not expecting these fish to get too much larger than this. I've heard they can grow to a decent size in the wild, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches maybe. But it doesn't seem like they get to be the same size ever in the aquarium setup. I have been thinking about adding an anemone, but to be honest I haven't really started doing any research on that, so I definitely wouldn't say that anytime in the near future I'll be getting any kind of anemone. I'm just not sure how much room they would need and if there's enough room in this 20-gallon setup for an anemone. Any suggestions there will be great, by the way. So currently I'm feeding these guys just flake food, but I heard they like bloodworms and things like that, so maybe I'll start feeding them some live food. But they seem to like the flake food well enough right now. So that's the addition as far as fish go. Now let's start getting into the problem that I've come across. Alright, so here you can see the possible issue that I'm having. I have some silicone peeling away from the side of the tank here, and I'm afraid it could start to leak if it continues to peel down like this. I don't think I can fix it without completely draining the aquarium, and that's a pretty huge job to undertake. But this issue actually leads me to something that I've been working on for quite a while now. I have been designing a new setup for this tank. The new setup will have a new tank, new equipment, a sump, and just all around it's going to be a pretty sizable change. Now I'm still in the process of designing this new setup, so I'm not exactly sure when I'll be able to get started, but I'll be making a video review of the new designs hopefully soon when I finish the whole thing, and I'll also be making several videos of the different parts of the build that I plan on undertaking. I'm going to hopefully build my own sump, my own stand, do some tank modifications, things like that, and hopefully I'll be able to share the whole build with you here on YouTube. So that's my problem, and this is my solution for it right now. Is I'm just going to be making a whole new setup and trying to move this tank into a nicer show tank. So that pretty much sums it up for this video. Hopefully you guys like the new fish and you're just as excited as I am for the new plans and the new build. The next video should be that video design review that I hope to do, and a lot of the following videos after that should be about the new build, and I hopefully will be able to make some more updates to this tank and update videos as well. But either way, thanks for watching, and as always, let me know what you think.